the meeting started. We'll start with the call to order and introductions. Okay. I'm Josue Licea, City of South Tucson.
I'm Jeanette Duran, Transportation Planning Director here at PAG.
Jamie Brown with PAG. Good morning.
Rick Ellis, PAG RTA. Good morning, everyone. Adam Ledford with PAG.
Consuno PAG.
Xiaobo Ma from PAG.
Jeremy Moore, ADOT.
Catherine Skinner, Pima County Transportation.
Paul Casertano, Pima County Transportation.
Natalie Shep, Pima County Environmental Quality.
Sam Credio, City of Tucson.
Good. Do we have some folks online?
Jennifer Flood, Town of Marina.
Jason Bahi, Bosque Yaqui Tribe.
Davida Butler, Suntran.
Nathan Barrett, Town of Sahuarita.
Jennifer Hobart, ADOT.
Jim Takeshi, PAG.
Dustin Fitzpatrick, PAG.
All right. Okay, maybe in the back of the room now. All right, thank you. We'll move on to item number 2, in-kind reporting.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Regional planning efforts are enhanced by recording time donated by attendees, volunteers, and participants. PAG collects data on the time dedicated to meetings and activities to apply for use as matching funds for grants and federal dollars. If you're paid with federal dollars, please let us know now. Time spent in preparation for this meeting will be estimated by PAG staff who are knowledgeable of the agenda and meeting materials. At the conclusion of this meeting, the session report will automatically calculate your time spent in this meeting. Time spent working on PAG RTA initiatives, programs, and special projects may also be eligible for consideration for matching funds. We're going to go ahead and pass around the sign-in sheet, so please sign in before you leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, approval of the October 2023-2025 meeting summary. Do we have any comments or action, a motion, questions?
I move we approve the meeting summary.
Okay, is there a second? All right, thank you. Do we call for a vote now? All right, how do we do this?
All in favor?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion is approved, passes. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 4, regional multimodal performance measure update.
Good morning, everyone, especially the chair and committee members. Thanks for your attendance. So today I would like to introduce a project PAG worked with U of A. So the title is Regional Multimodal Performance Measure Development. Today I would like to mainly focus on the introduction of the project background. Also, I will introduce the multimodal performance measures we developed with U of A, and also I will introduce our future steps. Currently, we have finished 3 projects with U of A. The first project addressed traffic count estimation, and the second expanded into regional performance measure development. The third project I will introduce today is funded through CRP, and we used available data sources to highlight 6 transit, 3 pedestrian, and 4 micro-mobility performance measures. As you can see, for the project 3, this effort aims to leverage existing data sources to obtain performance measures of multimodal transportation systems to support RMAP and improve regional transportation and air quality modeling. And For transit performance measures, we developed 6 performance measures covering speed, reliability, headways, and also on-time performance. I will use a few examples to showcase. So as you can see, this is the speed heat map. So with this heat map, we can see which route has efficient speed and which route has slowdowns in some times. So it's very easy for us to pinpoint the congestions and smooth traffic for the route level. And here is the average headways. You all know that headways are important for smooth traffic. So with this heat map, we can pinpoint the route with potential improvements for operation or infrastructure improvements. Also for pedestrian performance measures, we came up with 3. They are pedestrian volume, pedestrian delay, and pedestrian level of service. I used pedestrian waiting time as an example. So the left part shows the average pedestrian waiting time in midday hours on weekends. So you know that the pedestrian waiting time is an important factor for pedestrian compliance and pedestrian walkability. So based on this heat map, we can see which intersections have relative higher waiting time. So we can, in the future, maybe we can focus on the improvements like the operational or signal timing on that intersections. And the red part shows the hourly average waiting time by day type and device type in September 2023 of max-view intersections. And based on these 4 plots, we can identify the trends over the whole day, especially the AM peak, midday, and PM peak. And as for micromobility performance measures, we investigated the utilization rate, the availability rate, and the coverage rates for e-scooter and bike sharing. And based on our analysis, we analyzed the e-scooter availability and utilization rate, as well as the coverage rate across the whole region. So you can see the traffic pattern over the whole week. And also we analyzed the weekday time availability rate for 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the whole region. They are just examples. And we also provided air quality monitoring. This plot shows the PM 2.5 analysis. So we analyzed the average daily and monthly PM 2.5 concentrations across the regions based on the available sensors. And we also analyzed the 95th percentile of PM 2.5 at the different sensor locations. And also these slides show the ozone across the whole region. Similarly, we can see the average daily ozone concentrations and average monthly concentrations, as well as high percentile of ozone at different sensor locations. Okay, our next step would be review the developed script and performance measures provided by U of A, and we will develop our in-house code and performance measures based on their work. And we will also develop a maintenance plan, including data procurement. And also we will develop a framework linking to the Project 3 to air quality outcomes and using other source of data, including Project 1 and Project 2. Yeah, that's it for today's presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions? Natalie?
Just curious about the pedestrian data. How is that acquired? How do you know how long people are waiting? Things like that.
Yes, for the pedestrian data, we work with UA, especially UA got it from City of Tucson. They used the API to get pedestrian data directly from City of Tucson.
And just
Yeah.
on top of that, as you see here in the presentation, and it's a event-based data and the City of Tucson, and we use the My Vision sensor data and the City of Tucson, and we use the MaxView event-based data. So more likely just we are grabbing all the information, estimating just the waiting time, using all these different just the events. So we actually just evaluate it and using those data sets.
Okay, thanks. Didn't have enough time on that slide. I have a couple other questions. The air quality data is being accessed from PDEQ, air quality monitoring sites?
Yes, and I think just the link doesn't show up, but actually, yeah, that's the data set. Yeah.
You probably should credit us for that.
Yeah, but
and then I'm not an expert on performance measures, but safety can't come into play here at all.
Safety is another big like a territory, and so that would be a great idea. And but this is for just the highlighting and the understanding of the regional performance measures, and especially for the multimodal system. But if you think that's a good idea, we can maybe consider, and if we can just apply that.
Okay. Last question. Why wouldn't we be approving these?
This is not the approval. This is for just the information, the item.
What if we had different ideas?
We can come up with and another like just in-house like a development, and we maintain. So if you have just a new idea, we can actually incorporate those things and for the new system. Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Chair and Natalie, our intent is to next year sort of open the can of worms on performance measures, given this presentation and work that the data science team has done, as well as the presentation that Xiao gave a couple months back, and kind of taking a revisit to all of our performance measures. So that'll be coming as part of like the next RMAP cycle. But this project is wrapping up, and then hopefully we can take all the work that they've done and sort of re-examine the whole program, if you will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Paul?
Yeah, lots of questions and we can follow up offline, but it looks like some great work. I'm wondering if you're beginning to look at your transit speed data with your location-based speed data to see what the comparison looks like between transit and free flow vehicles. I guess I would have expected to see a little more impact on from the peak period pieces, and maybe it's just not clear in the graphics, but you may be seeing it behind the scenes. So I'm curious about that.
Yes, I think I just addressed it at the end, and project number 2 is highlighted like a roadway side, and project number 3 is actually highlighting multimodal. So the next plan in-house, just the maintenance, and hoping to just address those 2 combination, as well as just the air quality components and a much higher level.
Thank you.
Okay, one more question, Catherine.
None of these performance measures are just for cyclists, it doesn't look like. We have like 2 go, but we don't have just bicycles. Is that going to be considered? It seems like a key multimodal
That's
mode.
right. Yeah. So we actually reviewed and some other data sources, and but in terms of like getting the through API, and we try to just highlight that and the low hanging fruits, and continuously getting the data set. And City of Tucson does generously offer that option using just a GBFS. So if there's any kind of just the format, and we can incorporate, and we're gonna just use that. And pedestrian data and the bicycle data, and we've been collecting and in-house like as a 4-hour traffic count program. That could be the next step, how we can show up all together and together. And so.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? If not, we can move on to the next item. Okay, item number 5, RTA delivery approach and cash flow assessment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the TPC. We appreciate the opportunity to provide a informational update on this topic, and it'll be a team update. Rick and I will both provide an update. This effort that we're going to discuss actually is broader than just the two of us. Of course, Dan has been involved, James, Tao, Adam, and others, and it's going to be an ongoing process. So what this is, basically, as many of you know, with the RTA board's approval of the RTA plan in August, we've been working hard with our member agencies on looking at the admin code and really focused our attention on that. So updates to the policies, objectives, and procedures. We've also looked at financial performance measures. So appreciate all of the effort that's gone into that, and that effort is wrapping up. So thank you for all of your contributions to that. Now that that's wrapping up, we're pivoting to another part of the preparation for RTA Next. So we have, as you know, we have this this plan, this framework, right? But a lot of details are still unknown, and so we really envision a 3-step process under the direction of senior leadership to gather details from our member agencies to help answer those questions and fill in the blanks. So those 3 steps involve gathering information from the member agencies, not just about the delivery expectations, the schedules, the budgets for the roadway element projects, but also the categoricals, and not just for the first period of the plan, but all 20 years. And so that's a big undertaking, but it's really just having that conversation, gathering that information, which will lead into the next step. The next step is to put all that information into a cash flow worksheet that's very detailed, that sort of matches those delivery plans, expectations for expenditures by fiscal year with the anticipated revenue by fiscal year to see if we're financially constrained or not, and share that with our member agencies to have discussions about shifting things around to make everything fit, again, to be financially constrained. And then ultimately, the third step is to have that process inform project lists that are detailed, that show by fiscal year fund sources, amounts, phases, et cetera, that will ultimately lead into TIP products, like a formal TIP amendment that will make adjustments for at least fiscal year 27, as well as the next TIP development process, the next 5-year TIP process. So with that, we just wanted to provide an informational update about what we're doing. And so Rick is going to talk about some of that information gathering. Did want to mention, we understand that one of the key questions is identifying for the period 1A projects, those deferred projects, which projects are going to be federalized or not. So that's something that we're wanting to work through internally, bring more details at a future time, but we understand that that's an important component of this process. We also understand that you all are very busy, and we ask a lot of you for information. And so we want to share, information about the process and when we're going to be asking for information. So, when we have that, we want to share it so that you can plan ahead and shift your resources accordingly. So with that, I want to turn it over to Rick for, your piece of what you've been doing. So thank you.
Perfect layout of the vision on that. So obviously Jamie gave you the vision of what we're working towards and all the steps involved. And we've reached out. We've already met with some of the jurisdictions to get the details, the information as Jamie laid out, not just for the period 1 projects, but for the whole program, as well as the categorical assumptions. And a lot of it is just what's your game plan, what's your logic and your thinking. And that's why we didn't want to just send an email. and say, yeah, just reply back on this. We want to kind of hear the thoughts because we can feed that, utilize that, and that'll help us trigger the right conversations as we go forward. So it's underway. We've met with some of the jurisdictions already. We have more this week and next week as well. The goal is to try and have that, at least all the raw data plugged in for us to start doing our evaluations shortly after the Thanksgiving break. So that's going to be an ongoing effort. We're taking it to that level of detail for purpose reasons, as Jamie said, to match in with what we've been asked to do, and we'll keep you posted as that goes along. So thanks in advance for all the help you've been giving us on this. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Any questions online? Okay, Catherine?
So you outlined 3 steps. Can you do a brief timeline of when those 3 steps are going to occur and which tip cycle we think these are going to be included in?
A great question. Thank you, Ms. Skinner, members of the committee. So I've got an internal document that has committee meetings sort of laid out for the next several months, but we actually haven't even vetted it internally. So it'd probably be premature for me to be too specific. But I know, Rick, you're working to gather this information in the coming weeks to feed into a cash flow worksheet that I think tentatively we're aiming for having ready in January, right? Maybe, I think December might be ambitious, but we're thinking January for that. And then simultaneously, I know Adam is working on the template for the project lists so that, you know, in January and February, I think we're going to have those details in the cash flow and even into these project lists to have the conversations about financial constraint. But that's just me. So, but I wanted to share with you just some initial thoughts in case that's helpful. Rick, do you want to add to that?
No,
Correct?
you
Okay.
hit it perfectly, and that's kind of what we're targeting for. Even though we're collecting all that stuff now, we want to make sure we get it. And if there's follow-up feedback as we go back and forth on that, we want to make sure we're incorporating that. The one thing I also forgot to add is we're really trying to avoid duplications. Jamie said, we know we're hitting you guys up for stuff. So what we've asked or has been asked through other members for timelines, we're trying to make sure it aligns with it. So what you give us in one hand works for the other, or conversely, we won't hit you up for a second time in a different format. We're going to take care of the formatting, but we'll take whatever information you can share.
Okay, sounds good. Sam?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Jamie, Rick, I know in the TMC policy subcommittee meetings, we've talked about a lot of this. One of the comments I had made was just understanding the role of PAG TPC as it relates to RTA. It's my understanding there used to be like a RTA version of TPC. Has there been any more conversation about that, or is TPC going to just continue to serve in its role under PAG, but with some crossover to RTA?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Credio, great question. I'm looking to Jeanette to see if she's had any conversations. We know it's an outstanding question that needs to be resolved. I don't know that we've settled that. Jeanette?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Credio, yeah, it hasn't been completely laid out, but we recognize that the folks at this table are the people that we're tapping into a lot for this kind of information. So it only makes sense to utilize everybody's time efficiently. My vision, of course, is to use this committee more broadly because you guys are the most in tune with everything that's going on. And I don't know that there's really a real great justification for bringing you back to the table multiple times if we can accomplish what we set out to in the framework of this meeting, because we are here monthly, so might as well take advantage of that situation versus hauling you guys back in. We know that a lot of you participate in the TMC meetings as well and are, actively participating in regional council meetings as well. So we don't want to overburden you or your teams. That being said, we're going to continue to do our best to make sure that when we have agenda items coming where you might have additional staff that might be a good resource to participate in some of those conversations, that we communicate that with you so that the right people are at the table. Moving forward so that, if you have additional staff members that are knowledgeable on a specific topic, then they're also, invited to participate and be present at these meetings as well. So, of course.
Thank you both. I appreciate that answer. And I agree. I don't think we want to attend more meetings than we have to. I think the more important piece is if we can still conduct the work here. I mean, I don't know if there needs to be a clear demarcation, just like there is a management committee and then a technical management committee between the two entities. But what you said is spot on, Jeanette, is that these are the folks closest to delivering the projects. And so I think we can do a lot of really good work here, providing guidance to the technical management committee and ultimately the RTA board. So that's really my only, I just didn't know if there had to be that clear split between the two organizations. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It has been, evident to us as staff that the management committee and technical management committees both rely on you guys for your perspectives. Obviously, that makes complete sense in the transportation realm, but I know my coworkers can probably attest to the fact that at any time I can recommend utilizing this committee, I do so, and I'll continue to do that.
Yeah, great.
Okay, any other questions? All right, with that being said, we will move on to item number 6, updates related to transportation improvement program.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the TPC. I'll coordinate with Adam on this update. We like to keep this as a standing item because there's usually something to share that we hope is helpful for the TPC. So a few things we want to talk about: carbon reduction program funds, the RTAG process, and the off-systems bridge call for projects. So Adam, do you want to start with the OSB? And then I'll talk about the other two, please.
Sure thing. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. This is just a reminder, ADOT's LPA section issued a formal call for projects for the off-systems bridge program for state fiscal 27. On Halloween, October 31st, I sent out the guidelines, scoring criteria, and application forms to everybody on the TIP stakeholders mailing list. If anyone needs this information sent again, just please let me know. PAG is the MPO responsible for submitting the final OSB applications to be considered for the awards. While ADOT has set a December 31 deadline, we all know that our collective staff availability is really limited in the last half of December. So to avoid any end of year or holiday timing issues, we're reminding everyone that we're asking for everyone to please submit their final applications no later than Wednesday, December 17th. Just so we have time to batch those, make sure everything looks good, and send it on. If we get them after the 17th, we're going to do everything in our power to get them moved on, but they will be at risk of not being submitted by the December 31st deadline. Happy to answer any questions on that, but this is just a reminder, really.
Great. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
And just a couple more, if I may. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in terms of the carbon reduction program funds, just want to say thanks again to the TPC for all of your time and input at the last meeting, and to all the project sponsors for presenting last month. So just as a brief update, we did hear from Pima County after the meeting with their preferred allocation for the 2 projects that were selected as part of last month's process. We took that to the management committee last week, and they did approve that recommendation by the TPC to move that forward. So the next step is to take, Rick is working with the project sponsors on the IGA process. One needs a new IGA, the others need IGA amendments to take to the RTA board at the soonest possible time when those are ready. So we're hoping that maybe December 4th, those will go to the RTA board if they're ready. Otherwise, it would be late January. And following that, we will wait for the IGAs to get executed and then process very quickly a TIP administrative amendment because the RTA board has taken action. And then that would allow the project sponsors to submit the paperwork for authorization and obligation. So just want to give you an update on that. Rick, anything else on the IGAs?
Thank you, Jamie. Members of the committee, we're working on drafts as we speak. So if we don't hit that December timeframe, one of the things that our executive director has allowed us to do is now whenever the staff gets it all agreed upon, whatever jurisdiction can go first. So the old sequence of RTA first, then the jurisdiction, we don't have to be bound by that. So we'll work with you, get a calendar for whoever is up next. So we expect those will be processed and meet that February timeline to have it done, admin amendment processed, so that we meet the obligation requests. So those will be coming here, literally drafting as we speak, and we'll be circulating for internal review.
Okay, thank you. Jamie?
One more item. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, one more item, just in terms of the Regional Transportation Alternatives Grants. So we call those the RTAG. That's a combination of federal funds from the SDBG lower population bands, as well as the Transportation Alternatives Program. We did release a call for projects in early September, which is very detailed, included an application. Just over $7 million available in fiscal years 27 and 28. The deadline was November 7th. And we did receive 6 applications from 3 member agencies. The total federal request, $22 million. So 3 times as much in terms of requested funds than are available. And the next step is for staff to form a competitive selection panel of a minimum of 3 TPC member agencies. And so if you didn't apply and you're interested in serving, please let me know. We'll also reach out directly. It does involve about 4 meetings, probably starting in December, definitely in January. And one of the sets of meetings is actually where the applicants will briefly, in 30-minute chunks, will provide brief presentations on their projects with Q&A. So just thanks to all the member agencies who did apply, and we'll continue to keep you updated. So that process will hopefully conclude in February. And with that, Mr. Chair, that concludes our updates. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the team, from the agencies or online? Okay, no questions. We'll move on to the last item. We don't like this one, but adjournment. Oh, one comment here. Yeah.
Would there be a way to add on future agenda items back onto the agenda?
I don't know. How's that working?
Is-
with
I
the-
don't know how we would do that.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we can, but if you have some
I don't have
potential,
anything. I just kind of would like to be able to when I
yeah,
want to.
feel free at any time to email Jamie and myself, and we can get things on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it was before.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so.
All right, sounds good. We're on to item number 7, adjournment. All right, thank you.